Alpha waves in the human brain are between 6 and 8 Hz. The wave frequency of the human cavity resonates between 6 and 8 Hz. All biological systems operate in the same frequency range. The human's brain's alpha waves function in this range, and the electrical resonance of the Earth is between 6 and 8 Hz. Thus, our entire biological system, brain and Earth itself, work on the same frequencies. If we can control that resonant system electronically, we can directly control the entire mental system of humankind. Can we see what 5G is all about yet? Or one of the things it's about. As soon as you've born, you are given a name, a religion, a nationality and a race. You spend the rest of your life defending a fictional identity. Did you know that before 1973 it was illegal in the US to profit off the health care? The Health Maintenance Organization Act of 1973, passed by Nixon, changed everything. In 1973, Nixon did a personal favour for his friend and campaign financer Edgar Kaiser, then President and Chairman of Kaiser Permanente. Nixon signed into law the Health Maintenance Organization Act of 1973, in which medical insurance agencies, hospitals, clinics and even doctors could begin functioning as for-profit business entities instead of the service organisations they were intended to be. And which insurance company got the first taste of federal subsidies to implement? Gasp. Why, it was Kaiser Permanente. Well, shocking, isn't it? There comes a time in your life when you walk away from all the drama and people who create it. You surround yourself with people who make you laugh, forget the bad and focus on the good. Love the people who treat you right, pray for the ones who don't. Life is too short to be anything but happy. Falling down is part of life, getting back up is living. We cannot tolerate any system of government that would use chemical weapons against its own people, excluding fluoride, GMOs, Monsanto, herbicide, BPA, BPDEs, geoengineering, big pharma, pills, vaccines. The list just goes on and on and on. In a sexual species, there are two sexes, male and female. That's one. 99.93% of humans have XX or XY sex chromosomes. Rest is mutation. 3. Being one sex but thinking you're the other is a psychological disorder. 4. Mandating a widespread enabling of a psychological disorder is sociopathy. Now, this is from what I considered a reputable thing, so whether it is or not, it's for you to find out. Check it out yourself. Download forums to genuine GC math that ships worldwide. Like I say, I don't know whether it's genuine or not. Genuine real GC math is very hard to source and is a complex process to produce. There are many precise stages to the production process, and it must be made in a world-class laboratory. There is only one reliable source for it to be shipped worldwide. Please find the details below. Feel free to join our GC Math Facebook group, where we discuss and share GC Math stories with nearly 8,000 other members. There are only 2 other places where you can obtain genuine GC Math. These are laboratories in Japan and Israel, but unfortunately they do not ship worldwide. About GC Math, alongside the correct supplements and controlled diet, GC Math can cure most diseases of the immune system, as well as cancer, autism, vaccine damage, rheumatoid arthritis and many others. GC Math is produced naturally in the body. It is the backbone of the immune system and has been described as the Pac-Man of the immune system. Links in description as usual. The Coudenhove-Kalergi plan, the genocide of the peoples of Europe. Mass immigration is a phenomenon the causes of which are clearly concealed by the political elites and multicultural propaganda is employed to falsely portray immigration as inevitable. In this article, we intend to prove once and for all that mass immigration is not a spontaneous phenomenon. What the elites try to present as an inevitability of modern life is actually the product of a plan conceived around a table and prepared over decades to completely change the face of our continent, the Europe. It's a long article. If you want to read the rest, it's in the description. If you've not heard of the Kalergi plan, then you definitely want to read that. You can trust them. They're rich, you know, the millionaires anyway. Christine Lagarde, convicted. IMF head found guilty of criminal charges over mass government payout. Oh, shock. International Monetary Fund chief Christine Lagarde has been convicted over her role in controversial £355 million payment to a businessman. French judges found Miss Lagarde guilty of negligence for failing to challenge the state arbitration payout to the friend of former French President Nicolas Sarkozy. The 60-year-old, following a week-long trial in Paris, was not given any, and that's where Vince Oxygon again. The main goal of school is not education, it's conformity. Over the weekend, I had an interesting chat with a friend about her daughter's preschool program. She confessed to me that she couldn't wait until the school year was over, for the preschool program dominated their lives. The school, she explained, interfered with the other outside learning opportunities. At the same time, one of the main things her daughter was learning in the program was how to line up, perfect for fostering an environment of compulsion, but not for encouraging creativity or an enthusiasm for learning. Unfortunately, this attitude of towing the line is not limited to preschool, as Jay Matthews makes clear in a recent edition of the Washington Post. Matthews relies on the story of a Michigan 6th grader whose thirst for learning was caused to her to excel far beyond her grade level in maths and science. As Vipul Gupta tells the story, his daughter experienced mastery began innocently at the Grand Blanc School District. When the girl entered 5th grade, a test showed she had was a year ahead of her class in the math. She could take 6th grade at the school, or under Michigan law could do an online course. She chose online. When she completed 6th grade math in a few months, she went ahead and did 7th grade math too. She asked to do the same in science. The school resisted at first, but eventually she was taking 9th grade science at 6th grade as a 6th grader. She is now 5 years ahead of grade in maths and 3 years ahead of science. Her school also let her take the entrepreneurship course full on 11th and 12th graders at the district's Career Institute. Links in description. The victim is still alive and breathing. Expert exposes China's horrific organ harvesting program. Rome, May 23rd, 2019. The Chinese government is harvesting organs from prisoners while they are still alive to supply its lucrative organ transplant industry. A leading expert on China has told LifeSite News. Here is therefore calling on the Vatican to speak out. Yeah, like they give it. Stephen Mosher, founder and president of the Population Research Institute, sat down for the interview in Rome this week with Lifestyle News Editor-in-Chief John Henry Weston. See the full video below. Weston spoke with Mosher at the May 2021 John Paul II Academy for Human Life and the Family Conference on Brain Death and Medicological Construct Science and Philosophical Evidence. Mosher said that China, the world's leader in organ transplants, has moved it to a more advanced version of its decades-long practices of executing prisoners for their organs, and is now paralysing the victim in order to extract their organs while they are still alive. BBC fat cats pocket 30% pay rise as pensioners' free TV licence scheme faces chop. Big bosses have trousered pay rise of up to 30% as pensioners face losing their free TV licence. 6 fat cats receive inflation-busting hikes at a time when funding the programming is also set to be cut. It is emerged as Gordon Brown today launched a campaign to save free licence for the over 75s. He accused Tories of cowardice for pledging to protect this 745 million benefit while expecting the BBC to fund it. Weather weapons are real. They have a treaty to regulate them. There is still a sizable portion of the society who cannot grasp the reality of weather-altering devices and technologies, which have made us all unsure about which weather is real and which ones are not. This poses a big problem for those who understand how these weather devices are being used, but want to inform the public about the impending danger of draconian laws that have been legislated based on the false pretext of global warming. Surely Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth movie and his green energy companies continue making money for the guy, but when the lie became impossible enough to sustain, they began using the more generic term, i.e. climate change. Solar panel farm grows 17,000 tonnes of food without soil, pesticides, fossil fuels or groundwater. Farming is probably the world's oldest profession and something that is obviously universal to everyone, every culture and race in the world. Since the beginning of time, farming has been the backbone of any society. While the methods may differ based on such things as technology, environmental and financial means, the one thing that never changes is that farming will always be a necessity. So, anything that can safely help farmers more effectively and efficiently produce the crops and livestock we need to survive is welcome news. There is little argument that the resources needed to farm in the traditional manner, soil and water for example, are finite, meaning they can potentially run out at any given time. Proponents of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, using the reasoning to push their agenda, claiming GMOs can ensure hardier and larger crop yields among the other things. Debunking GMOs, it should come as no surprise that GMOs are the question of their necessity for this our survival resolve around links in the description if you want to read the rest of that. 10-year-old girl suspended for asking to be exempt from LGBT school lessons. This is going on in schools. All schools are going through, they're pushing this shit. London, July 1st, 2019. A 10-year-old girl who was suspended from school for a week after asking her teacher permission to be excused from participating in the Pride Month LGBT lesson has gone on the record to explain the real dangers of the invasion of LGBT technology in the school. Before anybody knew what LGBT meant, everybody knew what gender they were, explained Casey, who, along with her classmates, Farrell was suspended from the Harvey's Farmer Primary School located in Croydon, South London. This needs to stop, it's gone way too far. Telegraph. Hunt, only I can see off the danger of Corbyn. You're all a danger. Foreign Secretary says he is best placed to win election and pledges fox hunting vote. Game up on for England Ashes. Make recycling labels easier to understand, say supermarkets. China accuses Britain of colonial mindset. Sussex keep Archie's godparents secret. Osborne eyes new job as head of IMF. Rule of Dubai to divorce in UK court. Telegraph stalwart Booker dies. Millennials can expect a longer retirement. Get no retirement with the governments involved. The scum. Colleen's rules for Rue. Number 10 favourite Boris writes to the Sun readers, my United Kingdom. I'll heal nation with good Brexit. So I'll screw nation with bad Brexit. Then I'll go on with beating Corb. Then I'll roll over and let Corbyn take over. And I'll bring in 20,000 new cops. Because I want to bring in the New World Order. Express. Missing Susie. Police dig up field after new tip-off. Guess that must be Susie Lamplugh. Parasites. Harry and Meghan rule Archie's godparents to remain secret. Boris. I'll put 20,000 extra bobbies on B. Because that's the only way I'll be able to bring in my New World Order as a puppet for the Rothschilds. Johnson's girlfriend keeps calm and carries on shopping. Daily fail. Now for 20,000 Boris Bobbies, he pledges to reserve police cuts and fight back against Wild West Britain, but he'll have to find 1 billion. And carries back on the beat. Aye. 70 Labour MPs face sack threat. Corbyn opponents fear purged by local activities ahead of general election as research reveals scale of upheaval. Fear and paranoia stalk parliamentary party after rules change agreed last year make it easier to deselect MPs. Several loyalists to the Labour leader could also lose their seats. Oh, I find it hard to keep the seats. A shame, innit? A look at rural loss 45 years after the landmark book that awakened the nation. 30 years on of doing the right thing. Spike Lee on his landmark film. School funding failure. Cabinet talks break down. Jaws, a summer scary story. The truth about sharks in UK waters. 4-day week can save billions. Metro. Knife crimes tiniest victim. They're pushing something with this. Guardian. Massive burden of alcohol on NHS hospitals revealed. These numbers are shocking. The number of beds that cost the NHS the suffering. UK calls in Chinese envoy over Hong Kong comments. British peer wings clipped at Wimbledon. Waste of paper. Father Ted star is fighting for life. Carol's 20,000 squats. Waste of paper. Mirror. I am back where my angel was snatched for the final time. Tragic girl's mum tries to lay ghost to rest. So Sarah Payne. The Times. Osborne prepares bid to become first British head of IMF. That's how you know he was a bought and paid for wanker when he was in Parliament. Labour poll support at record low. 80% back Corbyn as he equals joint worst result. Not your call. Bosses take smartphones from workers. Yeah. 8 years today, Jimmy Savile died. R.I.P. Jimmy, you touched many people. Hold on, Jack. The council are on their way.